Let me go to Matthew Lee in New York. I see you there,
Sure.
Matthew, and some good news in recent days coming from New York. Nice to see you.
Great. No, that's true. Although these questions are a little more on the crisis side, I wanted to know. I wanted to ask you first about Colombia. As I'm sure you know, there's been a lot of unrest there, and it does seem financially related in the sense of tax increases on basic staples. So I'm wondering. I saw the announcement that the IMF had said that Colombia's, can have the flexible credit line. What's the relationship between that announcement and the tax announcement, and what do you make of developments since? And just on Myanmar, I wanted to know if you've had any contacts since our last briefing, and if you can just give a summary of the existing authorities, the de facto authorities, the wannabe authorities, what's happening between the IMF and Myanmar.
Okay, Matthew. Thanks for those questions. On Colombia, like others, we've been following the situation very closely, and saddened by the reports of the violence there and the loss of life. We do welcome President Duque's pledge to build a broader consensus around policies to help preserve important social spending and pandemic support while securing the resilience of the economy. And we will wait until that consultative process is completed and concrete proposals emerge to assess those. We do remain committed to continue working with Colombia to overcome the pandemic and to help implement policies that promote inclusive growth while protecting the most vulnerable and safeguarding public finances. You asked about the flexible credit line, Matthew. I can confirm that Colombia continues to qualify for the FCL, for the flexible credit line, because of its very strong economic fundamentals, institutional policy frameworks, and a track record of economic performance and policy implementation. In fact, we recently completed the review of Colombia's FCL arrangement, which allows it to retain access to those resources, those FCL resources, through April 22. Okay? As you know, the FCL was designed to help ensure against external risks and to make resources available when they are needed. That's on Colombia. You asked also about Myanmar. Not a great deal of news since the last time we spoke about Myanmar. We, of course, remain very concerned about the escalating tensions and their impact on the people of Myanmar. In addition to the tragic loss of life witnessed thus far, the fallout from the recent coup will have a dramatic impact on livelihoods, which could last well into the future. As I said the last time I think we spoke about it, Matthew, the fund is not currently engaging with the regime in effective control in Myanmar, and we will follow the guidance of our membership regarding engagement going forward. So, as I say, not much more to report there.
On Uganda, but I can definitely wait. I think others have questions.
Well, why don't you just go ahead, Matthew?
Okay, it could be. This is right in your wheelhouse. It's reported that Uganda is looking for a $900 million 3-year package from the IMF related to spending driven by COVID-19 response. Can you confirm it? Where does that stand? And thanks a lot.
Yeah. So what I would say on Uganda, it's, we've had fairly intensive engagement there via our surveillance and engagement on economic policy issues prior to the COVID crisis. And then, as some of you may recall, the authorities requested and indeed obtained emergency financial assistance from the IMF in last year. And that was for about $491 million, again, to help fight the the crisis part of our overall response to the crisis. Some 86 countries, as some of you may know, have received assistance from the IMF over the past year. Uganda was one of them. So, on your question, the authorities have requested a 3-year financial arrangement, again, to help continue the fight against the pandemic and build forward to more inclusive growth. I can tell you discussions have progressed well, with details yet to be ironed out on the potential magnitude of that financial assistance and on the authorities' reform program that would be the complement to any financial arrangement from the IMF. So the exact final amount will depend on Uganda's estimated balance of payments needs and the strength of policies the authorities commit to implement. And of course, as is always the case, the ultimate approval of the arrangement rests with our executive board. So that's not sui generis, that's not unique to Uganda. That's the case, as many of you know, in all our arrangements. Our board has the final approval. Let me go to, thank you, Matthew. Let me go to, I see Eric